Oh, I'm all right, baby. Sit down. I've been at the Norvège Theater, and I should have known better. Gee, my God, I'm still there.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear. Oh, and this is Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it? I've come back home, Mortimer. Who did you say this was?
It's your brother Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the surgery.
Jonathan? Jonathan? You always were a horror, but do you have to look like one?
Easy, Johnny. Easy.
It's all right, Doctor. Mortimer, have you forgotten the things I used to do to you as a boy? Like the time I tied you to the bedpost and I stuck needles under your fingertips. My God, it is Jonathan. Yes, I remember. I remember you as the most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life I've ever known.
Oh, yes. Get out of me.
No! Don't you two boys start quarreling when you first just seen each other.
There won't be any fight, Aunt Daddy. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
We've been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, just for tonight.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
Oh, but we invited them. It wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right, tonight. But first thing in the morning, out. Hey, by the way, where are they sleeping?
Oh, well, we put them in Jonathan's old room.
Well, that's my old room. I'm sleeping in that room. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
Johnny, you sleep down here.
You're darn right you sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the window seat.
The window seat? No, look, the window seats, we just don't argue about that. It's fine with me. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know, Johnny, all this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinazzo.
Spinazzo? Oh, Spinazzo! Yes, of course, of course. Why, Mortimer, there's no reason to inconvenience you. We'll sleep down here tonight. Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Come along, Johnny. We'll get those things out of the room.
Don't bother, Doctor. Doctor, I must be honest with you. I completely lost track of Mr. Spinazzo. Who's this Mr. Spinazzo?
Just a friend of ours Johnny's been looking for.
Don't bring anyone else in here.
It's all right, Johnny. If I'll be back, I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I'll go in with Martha, and you can have my room.
No, Aunt Abby, no. We'll get our things out of the room, and then, Mortimer, you can have that room, and we'll sleep down here. You're just wasting your time. I told you I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer!
What's the matter with you, dear?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby, Martha!
Oh, it was Jonathan! Oh, no, he mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
My God, darling, you're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
Oh, no, but do you think some hot tea or coffee?
Coffee. Make some for me, too. And some sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
Make something for both of you, dear. Oh, Martha, we can leave our hats downstairs here now.
Were you two going out somewhere? Do you have any idea what time it is? It's after 12. 12? Elaine, you've got to go home.
What? Oh, no, dear. We're going to make you some sandwiches and coffee. It will only take us a minute.
Why don't you remember we were going to celebrate your engagement? That's what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. Oh, and we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine!
Mortimer!
Huh?
What is going on in this house?
What do you mean what's going on in this house?
Well, first we're supposed to go to dinner in the theater tonight, and then you call it off, then you asked me to marry you. I said I would, and then you throw me out of the house. Then just after your brother tries to strangle me, you're trying to chase me home. Well, before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
Oh, Elaine, I love you very much. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
I've suddenly gone crazy.
I don't think so. But it's just a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in my family. Practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
You're going to do better than that?
Well, there's Jonathan. You said he was a maniac who tried to kill you.
He's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And then there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt.
That doesn't prove that you're crazy. Look at your aunts. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And they're the sweetest, sanest people I've ever known.
Even they have their peculiarities.
Yes, but wonderful peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one!
Mortimer, there are plenty of others. You can't tell me anything about your aunts.
I'm not going to. Elaine, you've got to go home. Something important's just come up.
Come up from where? We're here alone together.
I know I'm acting irrationally, but just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster.
If you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I am going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, if you love me, you'll get the hell out of here.
Please take me home, won't you? I'm afraid.
Afraid? I'll let her walk through a cemetery.
Mortimer! Kiss me goodnight, won't you?
Of course, dear. Goodbye, dear.
You critic! Huh.
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here.
We'll be in a minute, dear.
Come in here right now.
Oh, yes, dear. Oh, where's Elaine?
I thought you promised me you wouldn't let anyone in this house while I was gone.
No, Jonathan just
I don't
walked
need
in.
Jonathan.
Oh, and Dr. Einstein.
I'm not talking about Dr. Einstein. Who's this in the window seat?
We told you, dear. Mr. Hoskins.
That's not Mr. Hoskins.
Who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Well, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anyone thinks they can just walk into this house.
Aunt Abby, you can't get out of this. This is another one of your gentlemen.
Oh, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? This man is clearly an imposter. And if he came here to be buried in our cellar, he is mistaken.
Now, Aunt Abby, didn't you tell me you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat?
Yes, I did.
Well, this man couldn't have just got the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, he must have gone to Panama.
Oh, you buried him?
Oh, no, not yet. The poor dear is just down there waiting for the services. We haven't had a minute, what with Jonathan and Dr. Einstein. Oh, you know, dear, we always wanted to have a double funeral. But I will not read services over a total stranger.
Stranger? Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men in the cellar. You admit you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think that I would stoop to telling a fib? Martha!
Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you. Well, the words all you're going to have time for, Jonathan, because I've decided you and Dr. Einstein are going to have to get out of here as quickly as possible. I'm so pleased that you realize that you and I can't live under the same roof, but, my dear brother, you've arrived at the wrong solution. Get your bags and go. Jonathan, you're beginning to bore me. You played your one-night stand in Brooklyn, now move on. Mortimer, don't think, just because you've moved from the back fence to the typewriter, that you've grown up. I'm staying, you're leaving, and I mean now. If you think I can be frightened, if you think there's anything I fear, Mortimer, I've lived a very strange life, but if it's taught me one thing, it's to be afraid of nothing.
You just look in that window seat.
Jonathan, why don't you let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat? Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. And I have some wonderful news for you. Jonathan's leaving, and he's taking Dr. Einstein and their cold companion with him. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. So I'm going to give you a chance to get away, take the evidence with you, and you can't ask for more than that. Well? Very well. I'm calling the police. Do not touch that that telephone. You're still giving me orders after you've seen what happened to Mr. Spinalzo.
Spinalzo? Oh, I knew he was a foreigner.
Mortimer, you just remember, what happened to Spinalzo can happen to you too. Give me the phone. Give it to me.